Hello everybody and welcome back to the Dark Red Gaming Club. So today is the first episode of the Amazing Digital Circus x The League of Crime fan-made crossover. So I hope you enjoy this first episode. It's definitely a bit tough to find a script for this one because it's been difficult. But I hope you all enjoy the story of the first episode. If you'll enjoy it, why not hit like and subscribe to see if you want to see more videos just like this one to continue the series as well. So without further ado, let's get in with the first episode. We start the story in a deep forest where it seems calm and peaceful, but in reality it really is not. There is a hidden lab around it that is close to around the city where the story begins. This lab contains a bunch of terrorists that their only seeking is to make the world tremble before them. Their only experiment is a mystery, and they seek to, of course, use this one to cause fear. But before they even attempt to try the experiment, they receive an alert. A group of people has come in to absolutely wreck them apart. And these people are the League of Crime. Jack, Shade, and Mina have all appeared to absolutely destroy this lab to make sure they don't terrorize the city they live in. They're not doing this out of just care for the city. No. That's of course not. That's not their whole mission in this one. Their mission is to make sure to destroy this organization that is attempting to terrorize their home, but also to steal their tech. As of course the League of Crime, this is normal for them. They steal the tech from each heist they do, either to destroy them to make sure they're never used again, or second, for them to use them themselves in order to benefit them. Not to cause no harm or anything, they're just using it to see if they can benefit from it in a safety way. Jack is of course the one leading the group on this heist, as he had the whole heist planned out. Shade is around there, even though he is the leader of the League of Crime now, because another person by the name of the Master passed away sadly, so Shade took his place. But Shade is in this mission because he wants to feel the heist again, the excitement of it. And he of course joined on this only one to be not only the first time he's ever coming back after becoming the leader, but this will also be his last heist before he finally leaves that behind him. Jack and Mina are of course doing this out of a lifetime. They're just not gonna stop. Of course, they're not the ones alone. On a deep away, so deep away from the forest, we of course have two people. One is a woman, but the other one is a little girl. The woman who contains the sniper is by the name of Emilia, but the girl is actually Mary, who in the story purposes is the adopted daughter of Jack and Mina. This is of course something that the story of the League of Crime is part of canon, so don't be surprised if I bring a lot of stuff into the story that is actually canon. But of course, Mary of course contact the group below in the lab, telling them that the whole plan is going excellent, but Jack keeps warning her to not go close to the lab as it's still dangerous. The so-called plan they have is to absolutely wreck the whole thing before they can reach the lab that contains the experiment that this organization is actually doing. Of course, now that the whole plan is actually started, they of course know that everything is going well. Mary of course wants to help, and the reason why Mary's here, even though she's extremely young to go to a heist, is because Jack allowed it just for one time, as of course he knows that she cannot do these type of things, even if she has possibly the most powerful ability in the entire gang, and that is of course telekinesis. Okay, so I have to make a little quick pause in this one. I want to first mention that the League of Crime, of course, might find a idea that's not realistic, but of course makes sense. The series of course introduces the thing called mutation abilities. Mutation abilities in the description from the series is basically power-ups for the entire person who has them. The amount of living they can have is of course 3, and of course the main character Jack has 3 abilities. Mina has like 2. Shade, being the master of the League of Crime, has basically all the abilities, all the mutations that the master once had. He has them all. Mary, on the other hand, contains a telekinesis ability, which for the series is actually pretty broken. It's actually pretty much broken. And Amelia, who is the sniper, has 0. Yeah, I'm making sure that she does not have one, as part of her character is not to rely on these type of mutations that she of course doesn't feel like using them because it's almost like cheating. But of course, that's the thing I have to mention, because mutation abilities will be constantly used in this entire series. So don't be surprised if I mentioned the mutations and you're like, oh yeah, cool. Anyway, back to the story though. The entire league manages to defeat all of them. Well, not all of them, as there's still some soldiers left, but Amelia has already made her move. She's going in to finish off the rest with Mary behind her. Of course, Jack warns Mary to stay really close to Amelia. Do not get in a position where she can be easily shot. And Mary, of course, listens. When Jack and Shade manage to reach the experiment room, and even Mina, who come in shortly because she was dealing with something else, they stumble across just a portal. Yeah, a portal. The portal that they cannot even see behind. They cannot see what's in it, and besides, when they see the cables that is connected to something, they had no time to figure it out because another group of soldiers came in. Jack, of course, who knew this was gonna happen, he decided to attempt a move that he, of course, does not have a full mastery of it. So I want to first mention another thing, is that Jack's gloves that you see mostly contains air. You may be asking, air? How? Well, the simple answer is because Jack's gloves have this like a vacuum thing that allows him to consume the air, but that's only what happens when he is moving. This means that the whole time that Jack was attacking everything, not only was he eliminating every soldier, but also he was accumulating the air for an attack that is actually pretty strong. In this occasion, he was gonna use one that was actually not a good idea. He decided to use both arms to launch his entire air attack. His friends tell him not to do it, it's too dangerous, but he does it anyway. What this does is, of course, send these soldiers flying out of the lab, almost killing them. Well, no, you know what? No, it actually kills them, because the fall of it is too strong, and plus they hit metal in their heads. So yeah, obviously they're not alive. But the moment that happens, all of Jack, Shade, and Mina, of course, end up getting launched into the portal. The attack was just too strong. It pushed Jack away, but it pushed them as well into the portal. But the moment that happens, Amelia reaches the room, but before she can even do anything, the portal closes. She's extremely scared, first of all shocked. But she left that aside when she sees what is actually what they were using to create such portal. It's a Nintendo cartridge. What? We have no time to figure that out, because the moment that happens, we of course enter a new world. And now we transitions to, of course, the Amazing Digital Circus. During the whole time that the League of Crime was actually pulling out their highs, which of course ends all of them, well, almost all of them, end up trapped in the portal, which I think you have the clear idea where this is going. But during that time, with the Amazing Digital Circus, Kane, of course the ringmaster, was of course planning to do a in-house adventure for the entire gang. Of course, the one who doesn't like it is of course Subal, who mentions this happened the same as it was like when the first time when Pomni came in. Kane of course says that this time it may be different. But of course, before he even finished the sentence, the portal that we see before opens, and out of it comes out Shade, Mina, and Jack, and of course someone else. Of course, they're all sent flying out of the portal, hitting the walls that, of course, that the circus has. Kane and the rest heard this, and they immediately ran to see what it was. When they reach there, they see nothing more than just a pile of bodies there. No, they're not dead. Kane is surprised. Even everyone is surprised. Pomni, Ragata, Jax, even Subal is shocked by what they see. It's humans. Actual living humans. From flesh to bones. Of course, they see them knocked out. They are even hurt. Kane says that maybe he can give them some luck. When he tries to snap his fingers to see if he can do something, nothing happens. He does it again. Nothing happens. He snaps his fingers so many times, but he stops, trying to figure it out what happened, why he cannot do anything about it. He posits though that maybe that they're different from the rest. But of course he tells them that these people are hurt, and of course tells them that they need to rest as well. He makes bets for these people that are knocked out, and of course puts them in there. While the rest of the Amazing Digital Circus crew, of course, are waiting for them to wake up. While that happens, Pomni is the one curious. She even saw the portal that even closed the second that she sees it. She's curious about it, as she thinks, is that like an exit? So I want to first mention as well that this of course took 30 years for the Amazing Digital Circus crew to end up where they are. This is already the 30th year for everyone. And you may be asking again, shouldn't at that moment everyone got abstracted? So realistically yes, but in this story things change. Pomni gave up on finding the exit, which I know is super out of her character, but imagine you being trapped in a place that there's no exit, you trying to find it, and the moment you just already like you're going crazy, you just gave up. Of course, she decided to just play along with it. You know what? Let's just play along with the whole thing. Let's see if it's not as bad as she thinks it is. And of course, 30 years pass and she is fine. She's a little bit crazy, but not to the point where she's like insane, like it was Kaufmo. Of course, this is a thing about the whole thing. They are trying to forget about Kaufmo. Well, not forget it. My bad. That's a poor choice of word. They're trying to remember what happened to Kaufmo. If you know from the Amazing Digital Circus, Kaufmo ended up abstracted and of course got sent into the cellar. This of course because apparently you cannot fix that issue. Once you're abstracted, you're like that forever. And that's crazy. Gooseworx, my god. But of course, all the characters from the Amazing Digital Circus, after that experience, they're trying their best to not go insane themselves. Of course, Kinger is to the brink of that, but not to the point where he might end up abstracted. Subal is the least capable of going abstracted because she really has a lack of care. Gangle, well, she is feeling a bit worthless sometimes, but of course, both Ragata and Pomni help her out. Speaking of Pomni is managing to at least stay like positive, and she makes a great friendship with Ragata. Yeah, I'm not doing that shipping. What are you guys thinking? And Jax is his typical jerk thing, like he is not a good person. Kane, on the other hand, he's completely different, but this is mostly because I hate the idea that he's an antagonist, so I'm not making him look like that. I just don't think it looks good on him. Anyway, back to the story though. Pomni sees the portal, of course. She thinks that it might be like an exit, but she shakes it off. First of all, because she gave up on that. Second, why is she thinking of it now if there are people here? She can actually ask one of them. But when she turns around, Jack actually started to wake up. The moment that he wakes up, of course he jumps into defense to see if these guys are threats. Of course, Kane and the others just shout out that they're not like bad people, they're not a threat. And Jack says, really? You guys look like freaks. How am I supposed to trust you all? And they of course said that they have like no teeth or anything. They have no sharp teeth. What is he thinking? Jack of course puts his guard down for a moment and sees, yeah, they're right, there are no threats. Plus of all, he can possibly handle every single one of them. He's not sure for the mouth dude because he's floating, of course. Of course, when he looks around, he sees Shade and Mina. Of course, damaged a bit, but that was mostly because of the hit they got themselves when they were sent out from the portal. But when he turns to the other side, he sees Mary. Mary, what is she doing here? Jack thought that she was supposed to be with Amelia the whole time, and that is of course the reason why Amelia got scared and she got shocked by the whole thing. Mary went to the portal with them. How was that possible? Well, Mary may explain it soon. But Jack can see from her head that she actually took like a hit. He doesn't know what hit she took, but he is mad, but also of all scared. He tells them to help her, but Kane says that she's fine. Plus, he stopped the bleeding already. Also cover it up a bit since the fact that he doesn't like the idea of seeing blood around. Jack, of course, is confused. He asks where he is, and Kane says, "Well, my friend, you're in the Amazing Digital Circus, a place to be enjoyed by all ages." Jack is completely dumbfounded. He is not even sure what even in the world is a Amazing Digital Circus. He says, more like a freak circus. Jax, of course, says, "Bro, we helped you and you call us freaks still?" And Jack, of course, if you see the manga panel of the crossover, you know what happens. Jack begins to absolutely slam everyone there by calling Pomni a like with goofy clothes, Kinger with paranoid, Subo like a Lego, and Ragata like a creepy doll that you may see with grandma. Of course, all of them get extremely frustrated and even shocked by that. Kinger doesn't really care because he didn't even listen. And then Jax is like shocked because Jack called his overall cheap. Like, wow. Okay, I want to mention first thing of all that Jack is not racist. Let's just get that out of the way. He actually is not. He's just slamming them in the face. And by I mean by that, he's of course insulting them, but that's mostly because that's part of his character. He's that cocky. Of course, the moment that Jack finishes his little rambling about how all these characters are paranoids, Mina and Shade wake up at last. Shade is confused, even questioning where are they. And Mina, of course, sees Mary, and she's extremely shocked by it, asking Jack if wasn't she supposed to stay with Amelia. Jack says, yeah, she's supposed to be. He does not understand why is she here. But the moment he says that, of course, Mary wakes up, asking where she is, and of course Jack, out of a little bit of fury, of course, asks Mary what is she doing with them. She was supposed to stay with Amelia at all time. She could have got she even plus of all she got hurt. Mary, of course, got a little bit scared of the shock right Jack's face right in front of her, but she leaves that. She, of course, abandoned the fear and she explains what happened. Before they were sent to the portal, Mary ran to see Jack and the rest. She got so close to Jack that actually the moment that they were pushed away, Jack's arm actually hit her right in her head. So Jack, of course, is like, oh my god, I just hurt her. And he, of course, takes a look at it and sees that it already stopped bleeding. Of course, Jack knows that she has no healing abilities just like him, but he questioned how it was healed. Kane says that hours has passed since they were knocked out, so obviously hours passing, of course the blood stopped bleeding. Jack, of course, thanks Kane, but says that they just want to now leave. Kane is like, leave. Of course, Ragata, just like in the pilot episode, says that, well, don't be nervous people, but instead of just Jack interrupting, she says that, well, there's no way to leave. Jack is confused. There's no way to leave? What are you guys are talking about? Pomni begins to say that they're actual humans as well, saying that they have been trapped here. They don't know for how long, but like they're also humans and there's no exit. So Jack puts it all together. They're stuck in a world. They're stuck in a world with these people that are, of course, are stuck in a world. So he proceeds to like say the same thing. It's just that instead, after knowing that they also do these type of adventures that for them is zero fun. And of course, the moment they all say that it is true, he just says, well, it sucks to be all of them. And that, of course, sends the girls, which of course I'm referring to Ragatha and Pomni, to absolute fury. They wanted to attack Jack, but the moment they stare at his eyes, they know that the moment they get a little inch closer, he is gonna give them a punch of their lives. So they, of course, back away. Of course, Mina asks, what are they supposed to do? How are they supposed to get out? Jack, of course, asks Mary for the scouter that actually she had. Scouter? I'll explain this later, but Mary gives Jack the scouter, and he actually contacts somebody with it. It's actually Amelia. Apparently, these two worlds, while they are separate, they're also connected. Amelia asks Jack if he's okay, and of course he says yes, he is okay. But he asks why did she not see Mary? She said that she did. She did see him run towards them, but she couldn't do anything. She wasn't as fast enough to actually caught up with her. Jack, of course, said that she is fine now, but she is definitely suffering some consequences after this. Amelia thinks that it's her, but Jack says that it's actually Mary who's receiving the consequences of this. Not to say things, but Jack is not abusive or anything. He's just referring to the fact that this is gonna cause consequences for Mary, because she actually may end up grounded. Well, actually, no, I'll explain that later. So Amelia just like, oh, phew. And of course, Jack says that if she at least sees what they are using to create the portal. Amelia says that she only found a Nintendo cartridge. One so old. Jack is confused. A Nintendo cartridge? That's weird. Amelia says that she might take the whole equipment back to the entire league to see if the other friends around, to see if his other friends can actually help recreate the same portal to get them out. She says that the adventure may take almost a week for her to get back with all the equipment, but even longer now to actually attempt to recreate the portal. Jack says that that's fine. After all, they have all the resources they need to stay alive for that long. He looks into his backpack for a bit and sees that they have enough food to actually survive for a while. Jack says that for Amelia to not worry, they'll wait here, but until then, she better be careful. Amelia says yes, and of course begins to actually start the process of going back. Of course, they cut the communication for a while, and Jack says to Mary that she actually just caused her for this heist to be her only heist. Mary asks, what? Jack says that this will be her final heist. If she really could have gotten hurt, first of all, she's with them. Plus of all, the food they have, she doesn't have any of them. So he has to share with her. It's not that there's nothing wrong with it, but the fact that she was never supposed to be here. So he tells her that once this whole thing is over, she'll never go to another heist again. Mary is bummed out because she actually wanted it to do it, but unfortunately, that's not gonna happen. Mina thinks that, well, isn't that a bit cruel? But Jack reminds her that Mary was supposed to stay with Amelia as ordered by him. So instead of that, she actually gets too close to them that she actually got hurt. How is she supposed to be doing these type of stuff if she, one, doesn't listen, and two, she gets herself hurt? Mina gets it, but asks then what she's going to do. Jack, of course, says that the reason why he allowed it is because school is starting soon for her. Well, in a few months. But the fact that this will be her only heist, this means that the rest of the summer, not only will they be stuck there for a few weeks maybe, but close to the end of the summer, Mary will actually start studying to prepare her for school. Mary, of course, does not want to go to school. After all, she doesn't like the idea. But Jack says that that's the only thing they both agreed if she went to this only heist. So yeah, that's pretty much bad for Mary, because she made a deal that if she wants to go on this heist, she has to go to school. Whoops. Anyway, Kane of course says that if they're gonna stay for a while, which he actually heard the whole thing, he said that at least they can start the new adventure with a new crew. Jack is like, what? We're not joining on whatever fun you had. Kane says, of course, to kill the boredom. Jack, of course, like, looks at his crew. They nod and like, you know what? Why not? Let's just get this over with. And with that, we may leave off this story for now for the first episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed at least this first episode. The adventure we're gonna have in episode 2 is actually gonna be one based around the pilot episode. So if you can guess what it is, then leave it in the comments. I'll be sure to give you a congratulations, you guessed it. So with that being said, this is the Dark Red here signing off. Hope to see you all another day.